Hi guys, I hope you guys are doing well and that you have finished watching the first video on time management. I thought I would change the screen a little bit because it's very apropos. We're actually talking about notebooks today, and you're probably wondering what notebooks have to do with time management. Well, I'm gonna get to it. So the first thing, I hope you saw the first video because the first video explained very not as succinct as I would like to, how to manage time. You can't manage time if you don't know what time you're managing, right? So one of the big misconceptions about time management is that it allows you to do more things in less time. No, it allows you to do your things that you need to do in the time that you have. It allows you to make better decisions when it comes to your time. It allows you to make better choices when it comes to things that are impeding you from getting your goal. So now we're in the second video, and then you're probably wondering, why is that annoying notebook behind you? So now that you know kind of how your time is going, you've already done the scheduling. You look Monday through Saturday or Monday through Sunday, or even just a couple days during the week, what your schedule actually look like. You're probably looking and seeing, and granted, this does look annoying, so I'm going to change it as I talk. You're probably thinking there is some pockets of time here that can be used to do homework and do whatever it is you're doing, whatever your goals are, right? And you're probably thinking, all right, so I've identified some time, I identified some things that I need to rearrange. Maybe my time doesn't look like what I think it does. And I think that's one of the things that you'll learn from that last exercise. So the next thing I'm gonna teach you something that I use myself. And one of the things that you'll probably talk to other faculty members on this campus that say that Professor Fernandez is very organized. She is not organized. I am not organized. What I am is very good at writing things down and finding and creating a system that works for me. It took most of my life to find this. So I'm going to show you what I use and how I schedule things and manage my time. And hopefully it works for you. And I actually use something called the bullet journal system. You may or may not have heard of it. If you Google it or even YouTube it, you will probably be taken aback because it looks like people's art projects. People are very extra with their bullet journals. But in reality, all you need is a notebook and a pen or pencil. And it doesn't even have to be a special notebook. It could be something from the dollar store. Your pen could be something from the dollar store. So it doesn't need to be anything extra. All the extra stuff you can add as you want. So this is my wonderful bullet journal. I call this my brain. And for me, if it's not written down, it doesn't exist in my world. And so that's a rule that I made for myself to keep track of kind of what's going on. In this journal, I have lists upon lists, of course. They're all organized lists, but I literally have weeks that are organized and list of things that I have to do, list of things for certain projects. I'm a writer, so I have story ideas. I have my grocery list in here. I have lots of stuff in here, right? So literally this is my brain. So I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna do a screen share here. I've recreated a couple of pages from my bullet journal onto my iPad, and I will share. You will probably think, oh my gosh, what are these dots on here? I actually use, I don't use a lined notebook. You can if you want to. I prefer dots. So you can see my notebook is dots, right? I don't know if you can see that. It looks like it's blank, but the dots are there and they're very, very light. I like dots. It's just easier for me to use dots. If you want to use lined paper, go for it. If you want to use blank paper, go for it. Grids, if you also want to use dots, that's perfectly fine. It's whatever works for you. Again, this is not a lot of money. Do not go spend a lot of money. This notebook was literally $5 at Michael's, only because I'm this much more extra. I have found dot journals at Walmart for less money. It's all completely up to you. So let me do a wonderful screen share here. because I really want you guys to see what I'm doing here. All right, so let me screen share here, and here we are. Okay, so every bullet journal, all the videos that you see, and by the way, this is where the bullet journal website is if you want to learn more. I'm just teaching you kind of what I do, but there's tons of things you can do with a bullet journal. You can actually read about the history of the bullet journal that actually began with a guy who needed to keep track of things. And he had a learning disability. And so he created this system, right? So, and this is a fantastic system. Hey. All right, so every one of them has a key, and the key literally tells you, sorry, and the key literally tells you like what things mean, like what the symbols mean. So for example, a dot here, which is a bullet, hence bullet journal, is an item. Some people use the dot, some people like do blocks, especially if they're doing grids or they do dots, they do a block. Some people only use the bullet for an item, and maybe this is for a meeting, right? Or they'll use a circle for a meeting, or they'll use a circle for an appointment or whatever, right? I don't do all that because I like to keep it as simple as possible. So I literally just do a bullet for everything. But this is your bullet journal. You can do what you want to do. And then I have this arrow here that's right here. You can see this. Let me color that in for you. This arrow means that there's something in my list, that of my to-do list or of my daily list or whatever, that I move to another day or move to another week. And so that's how I keep track of things, so things don't fall through the cracks. Then you put an X through the bullet, that means you're done. If you're halfway done, if you started something and you're not quite done, you do a slash, right? So there's a couple of layouts that I do. And one of the great things about a bullet journal is that depending on how busy or not busy or chaotic, you can change formats in your actual journal or in your actual notebook, right? So currently, this is what it looks like for me. You probably see some things that we talked about in the first video, right? Things that are important for you to do as a person, to exist as a human in this world, things that are important or promises that you have to keep to other people or to yourself. And you'll probably see some things here that are in the, if I don't get to it today, things will not melt. The world will not end column, right? Remember those three columns? So you'll see those things here and they're listed. I want you to know that there's no dates here. Usually I put a date here, say like June 8th is the beginning part of the week, right? It's a Monday. So I go June 8th through the 14th, which is Sunday, right? And so that just tells me that's what the week is. But I want you to notice that like I don't have the 8 under Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, right? FYI, these things are the days of the week. In case you didn't notice, days of the week, right? I don't have that there. I already know that this is specifically focused on 1 week. And so what I do is I, of course, do the days of the week on the top, and then all the things that I know I have to get accomplished for that week on the left-hand side. And so I do this, actually, I do my bullet journal. I try to do it every Sunday night or at the very latest early Monday. Sometimes it's gone to Tuesday. Do not judge me. And so I make this list. Now, this is what the list looks like probably at the beginning of the week. I know I have these things I have to do, right? But as the week progresses, as more things are required, as more things kind of pop up in the week, I go ahead and add more to the list, right? So in a typical week for me, like this is a week is easily a 2-page week. It may be a 1-page week for you. It doesn't matter. I'm just giving you kind of what I do. What you do is your business, whatever works for you and your schedule. So as the day progresses, I go through and I make sure that I do things. So in the morning, as I'm getting my coffee, because coffee is important. It's not even on this list. Like, it's just a given. I'm going to have coffee every morning because coffee saves lives. And so as I'm having my coffee and after I've made my bed, usually I will open up my bullet journal and see what I have to do for that day. And I open it up every day in the morning so I see what I need to do, what I can hit, what I can get done, right? So for instance, I'm recording this on a Wednesday. And so I know this morning I made my bed. I like literally woke up, popped out, made my bed. I don't know what it is about making your bed, but it kind of makes me feel like my world's a little less chaotic. So that's something I do for myself so that I feel a little bit more adjusted into the world. So I make my bed. I journaled this morning as 10,000 people were trying to talk to me. I haven't read yet this today. Doesn't mean I won't read today. It just means I haven't done it yet, right? I checked class progress today. I check y'all's progress every day, every morning. Who has done what? Who hasn't signed into things yet? When was the last time you signed in? How you're progressing in your classes? And I look at that, and I also answer emails in the morning. I usually do it in the morning. If I can't get to it in the morning, I usually do it in the afternoon. And I try to respond to like the SOS, please help me, I don't understand emails first, and then I get to everybody else's. So I reply to emails in the morning, and I check them at least twice a day. Sometimes I don't even stay off email. Sometimes it just happens. It's, that's what happens for English teachers. Okay. So I know that's what I've done so far already by the time I have recorded this email. I know that I've got to schedule a meeting, and actually I did this one already. I've already scheduled that meeting, and that meeting is going to happen here tomorrow, actually. So I've already done that, and yeah, pretty much that's what I have. Note that I have Netflix here. Netflixing is important. I'm not saying don't Netflix. I'm saying Netflix, but know when to do it and when not to do it. And for me, Netflix is a break. I haven't taken a break yet today, and I probably won't Netflix. Actually, for me, it's more Amazon Prime. I'm addicted to a show called Hotel Impossible. Don't ask me and stop judging me. So I'll probably watch a couple of episodes of Hotel Impossible like after I'm done for the day. So after I clock out for the day. So I'm gonna do that. And so I have the review module 3. I have to upload module 3 onto the D2L site. Double check the checklist for module 3, triple check it. Sometimes you double check it, you miss something and it's awful, so you want to triple check it now. Grocery shopping. And so grocery shopping is going to happen, not today because it's kind of late. So I want to make sure that I'm cognizant of like, all right, I need to probably grocery shop on Thursday or Friday. Definitely not the weekend because it's nuts out there. Okay. Call Christy. I'm probably going to call Christy later on tonight, like right before I Netflix, right? And so that's going to happen. And so I also know I've got to grade your essays. There's a couple of essays that have come in. If you're listening during the semesters, I am aware of essays, way aware of essays that I have to grade. And so I have to make sure that when that happens, I grade them as they come in or get some quality time with your written words. So see how that works? So already today, by the time of the recording, this is what I've accomplished for the day. And so I can say, all right, so maybe later on, maybe I will start my grading of the essays for 1301 and I will do a slash because I wouldn't have finished. I typically don't finish an entire group of papers in one day. I usually do it over a couple of days. And so if I've started a project or I've started something, I'll put a slash. Remember, that's in our key. And so say like I'm done by Saturday. Say if it's Saturday and I'm done, I'll just mark it. And so that way I'll know, right? And so why this works so well for me is that things that I do pretty much every day, the making the bed, the journal, the reading, the meditation, if you're a meditator, like those, or make sure gets done every day. So you're tracking that. But then things that you don't do every day or things that like you can push to another day, like the grocery shopping and like reviewing module 3. I have to make sure that module 3 is up by like Sunday. So that way it pops up for you guys on Monday for the summer classes. For the semester classes, don't ask. So that way I know like, okay, I may not get to it on Monday, but like the week is dwindling down. I need to make room to do module 3, right? So that's one way of doing this. Then you have this wonderful way of doing it. You literally just draw a cross on the page, and each block or each square is a day, and you can do 4 on one page and 3 on another, right? Because there's 7 days and it's not equal. Oh, math. And so if you're the type of person that knows, oh, I have to do this on a certain day, right? So maybe like you're like June 8th, June 9th, June 10th, right? You're writing the dates here. Maybe this helps you a little bit. Right? And so you know, oh, I have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. I have to make sure that I get there. So you draw yourself a little bullet, right? And maybe you have a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. Right? So you know that's not what you're gonna do. You're not gonna like try to do your homework at 10 a.m. or 9:30, right? Maybe you are trying to, oh look, how fun. Maybe you're trying to take your essays and kind of spread the work through the week. And this is what I'm hoping that you're doing with your essays. So either if you're watching this during the semesters, I hope that's what you're doing too. But especially in the summer semester, since the summer class goes so quickly. It's 6 weeks and it's just one day. It's like a week's worth of work for the semesters. So it just jumps every day, every day, every day, every day. So maybe you're looking at something like your memoir essay that you know that is due on the 15th, right? If you're watching this past summer 2020, please look at the deadlines in your module. I'm just talking to the summer 2020 right here. So you know that your essay is due on Monday, right? And so we're already on Wednesday. If you haven't even started, then this is one of those times where you really got to look at what you've got to do. So brainstorming, right? You brainstorm everything, brainstorm. And this is so great about the bullet journal is that you can actually dedicate a page to brainstorming a project weeks before you actually have to do it. So if you want to brainstorm and put everything down and then like walk away, live your life, live your best life, you live your worst life. I don't know your life. I'm not judging you. But if you want to go off and live your life, do what you need to do, you can come back to that page that you just had in your bullet journal and said, I brainstormed that essay. So let me see what I brainstormed, see if anything is useful, and then take it to the next level. So maybe you're brainstorming on Wednesday. On Thursday, you write the first draft. By the way, first drafts are always awful. No one should see your first draft except for you. Like, do not think that you write your first draft and it's the best thing ever. Everyone's first draft is awful. It's even professional writers, their first draft is awful because the writing is in the rewriting. That's where the writing actually happens. So first drafts are meant to be disgusting. There should be misspellings. There should be formatting issues. There should be structure issues. There should be fragments. There should be run-ons. Like there should be so much chaos on that first draft because you're trying to figure out what you're going to write. It's that second and third draft where you're starting to like really understand and like doing the revision part. So this is fantastic advice I actually got from one of my professors. The writing is in the rewriting. So the goal is not to write the first draft. The goal is to get to the third and fourth draft. And you can't do that and you can't revise something until something exists on the page. Okay? So that's what's up. Just an aside. So you're writing maybe your first draft, and maybe after you write your first draft, you want to write fast, edit slow, right? And so you write your first draft and then you take a little Netflix break and then maybe you revise the first draft, right? And then you stop on Friday. Maybe what you want to do is like start revising or start writing or revising the second draft, right? So you have a second draft. And then maybe you'll take some time early on Monday. Actually, no, because they don't open till 10, sorry. So maybe you want to, on Saturday, put it in Learning Tools or Grammarly and just put it in there to see how the grammar is working and what you need to fix. So that's number 3, right? And then on Sunday, maybe you'll have one of your friends or a parent read over your essay, right? And so now you've got 4 versions, 4 drafts of that. And then you can turn it in. You can do that all before Monday. See, bullet journals are amazing. All right, so here is another way I also keep my calendar. And I also underline this and I make it pretty with different colors. So let me take another color. So essentially what I do is that I write down the days. It's very similar to the blocks, right? I write down the days, and where I need to do things, I do things. But what's interesting about this one is that, and this is literally, I copied this word for word from a week in January. So this is actually what I wrote in January, minus the pretty blue lines. So you have things that you have to do. So I had to like do my calendar for 1302, my course calendar for 1302, and do my syllabus for 1302. I respond to email. And yes, I had to take down the tree. Ha, 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 ha. Do not judge me. It was January still. That tree looked fantastic in February and March. Stop, don't judge me. Okay, so I had all this stuff to do. And so you can see that I got the syllabus done, I got the email done, and the schedule for an interview. I had to interview some students for a position on the student newspaper. So I got that done. What I didn't get done that day is the 1302 course calendar, and I didn't take down the tree, as you well know. So you see how I have these arrows here? Let me change this color here. You see I have these arrows here? Yeah, you see that? Okay, so that means I moved it to another day. It could be in that week, it could be 2 weeks from now, it could be anytime to where I think I have time. So I moved the course calendar to this Wednesday right there. You see that? Right here. I don't know if you see that. I moved it to right there. Ta-da. And so you see, of course, how I also moved taking down the tree. I moved it to Tuesday. Did it get done on Tuesday? No, it did not. Again, do not judge me. Don't judge me. So I didn't have time. In-service is something that's like all professors and all the faculty members have to meet at the beginning of the semester. So in-service usually takes up all day. So you have in-service, and I went to in-service. I picked up a lens for the student newspaper from an office, and then I was tired. There was no tree was going to get taken down that day. So I just moved it, right? And then I knew I wasn't going to be able to work on this calendar, so I moved it to Wednesday. And lo and behold, all my stuff is here. See how that works? So I keep track of what I have to do and make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. So you're probably wondering, like, where does Google Calendar come in? And where it comes in, quite frankly, is here. So this works very well with Google Calendar, and let me tell you how. So what I use Google Calendar for is to schedule things that I can't quite schedule in my calendar quite yet, like things that are like next month or the month before or 6 months from now or 3 months from now, right? I schedule those things. And so they're there. So by the time I get to that month, say like all this stuff was given to me in like April or March, by the time I get to May and I'm sitting down and doing my bullet journaling, like that day before May begins, right? I'm writing down the number of the day and what day of the week it is. So it's like Friday the 1st, Saturday the 2nd, Sunday the 3rd, so on and so forth, right? And so I'll just go ahead and write down what I had on my Google Calendar already. Now that doesn't mean that I ignore my Google Calendar or that I ignore this calendar. No, because I use this calendar to help me do these things, right? To help me do all these things. So for example, I know that my doctor's appointment is on the 4th of May, which is on Monday. I know that one of the things I need to list back here is take your medicines or whatever, right? So that's what I do. If I know that the semester is ending here, I know that in these things, I have to write down, in this one or whatever, I have to write down stuff like grade essays, finish grading discussion boards for 1301, right? So I am literally working backwards, right? I'm looking at this calendar. I'm like, okay, I know grades are due, and I know it's gonna take me X amount of time to actually calculate this grade. It doesn't take me that much time, but it takes me a little time. You know, that ends here, which means that your finals have to be in by a certain day. So I just work backwards. And so I make sure I put that on my bullet journal. And so that's how that works. I also use Google Calendar for the reminders. It's really good at reminding me when things are due. So like for instance, if I have this presentation, right? This presentation on the 28th, I was told about this presentation in April, early April, that I had to do this presentation, ironically, on how to do online stuff. You're in good hands. How to do online stuff. So I was told in April. And so in April, I literally did the brainstorming on that, put it in my bullet journal, and then didn't even think about it until about here, like in this area is when I started thinking about this presentation. And then I said, oh, that's right. I brainstormed it. And then I went to the brainstorming and said, boom, my presentation's done. I just literally got to put it on like PowerPoint. So it works like that too, all right? So here's some possible lists. I have a lot of lists in my bullet journal that you can use to things that help you and remind you to do things. So you could list books to read. I have a very long and extensive books to read because I am a nerd and very proud of it. I also have a list of living poets to teach. Here it is. Living poets to teach. For my 1302 class, because I want to sometimes like to switch around what I teach. So I have a whole list. I also have a grocery list. My grocery lists are in here. The stuff I want to watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime, because sometimes, you know, you just need to like taper down that list. I have a long list on Netflix of things I want to watch. Things to get or things that you're waiting to be delivered. I'm a big Amazoner, or used to be a big Amazoner, but I also order other things. And sometimes I order things and forget I've ordered something. So I'll just write it on the list, like you ordered this, you ordered this. And so that way I can keep an eye, and when something doesn't come in when it's supposed to, like I can like make the appropriate inquiries. Birthdays, my friends' birthdays. I know like social media helps you with this, but I like to keep birthdays because that way I want to be one of the first people to wish those people happy birthday on social media. So I look like I'm an awesome friend. It's just friend management, frankly. Then a Christmas card list. I have one of those. List of your favorite restaurants, awesome things that happen. It's really, really cool, especially for 2020. I did this actually for 2019. Like really cool things. And so whenever like, you know, you're feeling horrible, you're feeling like you haven't done anything with your life and your life is a shambles and 2020 is awful and pandemics and like rioting and people getting killed, then you can go back and say, you know what, this was the year that my mom beat cancer. I literally have that right there, the first year, 2019. The year that my mom beats cancer. The year that I learned to eat right. It's the year that I finished my draft of my first book. The year I did this, the year that I did that. And so, yeah. So when I feel bad about life, you literally like look at this list and you make this list as you go along, as you live. Another thing is a gratitude list. And you probably have seen a lot of this in social media or as like a talking point for some people, but gratitude lists are really great. Every day you just list one thing that you're grateful for, and it could be anything. I am grateful that I had enough money for gas. You know what? Life is real, and yes, be grateful for that. I am grateful for my parents. I am grateful for my sister. I am grateful for my English teacher who like spent all this time to tell me how to like manage my time. Like whatever. And so it works just like the best year or awesome things that happen list. Like when you're feeling low and down, that's one of those things you turn to, and it just picks you back up. Also, your goals, your weekly goals, your monthly goals, it helps to write down those goals so that way you know that you're on the right track. So bullet journals are awesome. I hope this helps you manage your time. Let me stop sharing here. I hope this helped you manage your time. Hope this helped you understand a little bit of how to make your time work for you, and how to kind of take control of it. I'm not saying it's 100% perfect because nothing is 100% perfect, but this is a system I think that you can finesse for yourself and for your life, which I have done and has been helpful to me because I was a hot mess. And now people are saying that I'm organized. I am not. I just write things down. All right, let me know how I can help, and I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions. And yes, I do have suggestions on where to get notebooks. Again, the dollar store is fantastic. Like I would go. I got mine at Michael's, was $5. But if you only got $1, you only got $1. That's all it is. Bye, guys.